Infernal Shrines, the first map in the best of 3 series. NA versus Europe. Once again, we got Squeal Team 6 against HGCEULUL. All these games, of course, played out on the North American server. As mentioned before, this entire tournament is catering more so to the NA players. It's a smaller tournament than what we're normally running here, but again, we're going to show NA a little bit of love. We have in total, again, shorter tournament, but also less prize money. We have $1,000 this time, thanks to Kevin, Psychiv. So no draft rules, nothing crazy, just a vanilla tournament. We have by now 6 teams remaining. Full round robin that we're currently playing out between the 4 North American teams and the 2 European teams. The Europeans have to play cross server, so they have a ping disadvantage on all of this. But with HGCEULUL, we have of course a strong contender, but they still have to deal with those handicaps. Now, at this point, the question is of course, what can the European team do now against Squeal Team 6? They already lost against one NA opponent. So what can they do right now? We have, first and foremost, a couple of bans, of course, coming through. Seen a lot of Sylvanas being played, and in this case, she gets banned out. So apparently Sylvanas' days or games today are numbered. So yeah, she gets eliminated. And with that, we have Blaze as our first pick. That is a common occurrence right now. 30k is locking in Blaze whenever they can, very early. We've seen basically most of the teams really rely, I mean, again, not on every single map, but on most of them, they are very aggressively locking in Blaze, depending on what else is available. You might see on Guard of Terror on some other maps, Hogger prioritized, maybe sometimes Deaka on a big map as a bit of a global. So, yeah. Either way, we got Diablo and we got Brightwing now on the left. So, yeah, Diablo and Brightwing. With that, we have... It's such a standard opening by now. I mean, Brightwing has really become the main support here for a lot of the teams. And Porky wants to play his Diablo to... I mean... He oftentimes can't play Diablo because so many teams right now ban Diablo against him. And it always feels a little bit like they're trying to screw with his hero pool a bit and banning out 2 of his top picks. And then hope that he is going to be pushed into a bit of a corner. We get Anubarak and Greymane now on the other side. So they're starting with Blaze, Anubarak getting those CC chains executed and allowing Greymane to again make a play. Likely going to go for bullets so they can chunk Porky down a bit. And Porky is by now known as the NA Lauber, and for a reason. He has a little bit of a tendency, like Lauber as well, to die within the first minute of the game. Doesn't take anything away from his performance as a tank as a whole, but that 1 minute mark is something that was always a bit of a challenge for Lauber. And apparently Porky is echoing that. So, yeah. I always imagine that at some point it was like, I bet you can't die within the first 1 minute, and then it's like, challenge accepted. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what exactly led to that, but it was kind of funny because the last few times that we talked about it, it exactly happened that way, just a few minutes later. So with Deckard K now being banned out for Infernal Shrines, which is another hero for really good control against the Shrines, we have now Genji banned out. But obviously, specifically, HGCEULUL still needs support. Stukov comes to mind, Malfurion, both good here, could be the choice, and it would also allow them follow up for what Anubarak and Blaze are doing. I guess you could play Uther too. If you get good CC chains going and then a Divine Shield for Greymane, that would maybe work as well. Vala for Brandon, immediately intrigued what kind of build we're getting. We have lately seen a little bit more multi-shot. Oftentimes by European teams playing on the NA server, I would assume that ping has something to do with the talent choice there as well, that it makes it a bit easier for yourself. But if you make an argument for a multi-shot build on any map, then Infernal Shrines would come very quickly to mind, since the objective caters very much so towards that. But you can still go for the auto attack here. We've seen arrow builds as well on this map, so we'll see. There's Malfurion. So they decide in favor of him over Stukov, and we get Dino on Mephisto. Now that leaves us with the final pick for the blue team. Infernal Shrines is our first map in the best of 3 series here in the round robin of the Hanzo Genji Cup. And, well, they still need to decide a bit how they want to play it with Vala here. Another support would put her into a main, like in a hyper carry situation, but I would guess that we are getting a second damage dealer and they're deviating away from the auto attack. False that it is, ladies and gentlemen. HGCEULUL versus Squeal Team 6 as we are heading into Infernal Shrines. First game of the best of 3 series, and yes, we get the multi-shot build. There it is. Brandon locks it in with Vala immediately. We get Saikatora on Falstad, Diablo gets played by Porky, Nintori on Brightwing, and Naz is playing Leoric, going into Ossen's Renewal as his level 1 choice. And over on the right side of the map, it is the European team with Hazu Ops on Blaze. We get Nagrom on Nuburak for the dive. Dainu with Greymane going for the big bad wolf, and Lopaka is playing Mephisto here. He's rocking the mage, and that leaves Yazu with Malfurion. So far so good. Skull Missile build for Mephisto, so he grabs that quickly. We got the Legion of Beetles on the other side for Nagrom. And yep, Porky is already getting poked around a little bit. Brandon is gonna start working in jet propulsion. Oh my god! The Europeans taking advantage of the choke point spot here. The corner, as they're lining them up, and it's only Vala that dies, but for just a second it seemed like 2 or 3 could fall. So very aggressive opening from the European team. They of course struggled in one of the earlier series in this round robin. I don't think they were too happy with the result there. We talked about that in length, but that was an absolutely insane series. So now that they're facing off against another NA team, they're already coming out swinging right from the beginning and trying to get into a halfway decent spot there. So, top side, Hazu Ops. He's still just poking this one out. We have now Dainu, Lopaka, and everybody slowly starting to make their play. Here, Diablo gets actually murdered mega quickly. Loses hit points within seconds thanks to Mephisto just burning him down here. So, yeah, not too bad. Porky also a bit careful over here. Falstad is now flying in as well. I mean, it's the rotation between the middle and the bottom that you're getting most of now, as they're going for the minion waves, burning one after another. The solo laners are all still stuck up at the top. And over here, yeah, Porky slowing, making his way back out. Jet propulsion in this case is missing, but it's aggressive already from both teams. What we are not getting a whole lot right now is stacks for Vala. We're now 2 minutes in, and she has only 2 stacks on her multi-shot. The third camp claimed by the European team. As we now have updraft for Falstad. And yeah, Vala already just like poking this out, has now Arsenal on level 4. But has at this point still not been able to get too many stacks together. So has to retreat here, starting to run out of hit points and mana, and just like attempting to prep for also the next objective here. But yeah, how much further? Because right now Yazu and Dainu are going for the camp at the top right. We have Naz over towards the top left. Brandon also in an attempt to make a play there. He's back to business, but he needs some stacks. My boy needs some stacks. I mean, come on. Not even close to completing that quest. So we could see that also then, of course, flourish on the first objective. And this arrow, this multi-shot build is something that we have now seen in this tournament specifically, I think for the 3rd or 4th time. Still with mixed results, and when the Europeans played, I get it in the sense that it might be a bit easier to play when you have a ping disadvantage. It's noteworthy there was mainly the Polish team that has more issues with ping in the first place that played it, but now we're having it also mirrored from the North Americans. So yeah, there's no ping reason for Brandon to play multi-shot. But the map caters to it, so if you play multi-shot on any map, this is probably the one to do it on. And they decided to not play her as a hyper carry, but either way, it's 18 stacks now for 3. Root on the ground, and Falstad barely survives. Greymane does not. Greymane gets eliminated, and that is the first kill for Squeal Team 6. So kill for kill. And Nuburak with a dive. The root is immediately there. Nagrom, nice. Makes it out. Looked like he would fall, but a second kill for the European team. And well, Brandon with 15 stacks now. These fights are a lot better for him. Now all of a sudden he has targets. And he has a lot of them. All lining up for him. He's still got a retreat here. Oh my god! And there's the kill! Mephisto falls, but so does Brightwing. One team loses DPS. the other team loses their sustain. So tough times for sure. As is, we now have 2 kills to 3 in favor of HGCEULUL. And more action is coming together at the top as we are getting ready for the first Punisher. So one hand the blue team will have to defend, and the red team has to make a decision on how hard they want to push for this, how aggressive they want to get with this right now, as they're slowly starting to make their way over. They got a bait, of course. There's not too many heroes here for defense on the other hand, so not only will the wall fall, but they're also going to sacrifice a lot of hit points on the fort if that continues. False that is flying in to help out here. So far, so good. Next attack could be coming in just a second as they're again making their little plays. Vala, Brandon, careful. Yeah, is slowly retreating. And the next play is gonna happen in just a second because this fort is gone and they could drive it deeper, trying to go for a kill. But it's an Uberak that falls and the fort does not get destroyed. Level 10 abilities are ready for both teams now. So maybe now a chance. Barbecue play is already being executed by Diablo. Again, 4 versus 5 at this point. But falls... Yeah, how does he survive? And now Malfurion gets killed. The blue team is able to kill multiple heroes. They only sacrifice the souls of Diablo. These fights are so clutch. It's not only this series. The last 30k game that we had was essentially the same. You have so many of these fights where you think, okay, now somebody's going to jump in, unleashes one single AoE ability, and all of a sudden people are just going to die everywhere. And then what happens instead is that somehow the team that is insanely low in hit points is able to pull through, survives, and is just channeling their inner, I don't know, their inner MOBA demon or whatever, makes that pact with the devil. They survive with barely any hit points left and get several kills instead. So, yeah. By now, the blue team, Squeal Team 6, is getting value. They're doing well. They're starting to chase the Europeans across the map and really giving them a run for their money. But if they can go all the way, that's the other question. I mean, right now, with the bunker already being put up in play, next move is getting made here too. But there is a leading experience now for the blue team. They could very easily translate into an experience, into a talent advantage over the next objective. So yeah, definitely a possibility here for them. Yeah, it's a bit of a wild game. It is a very interesting one at that. Already we're having some pretty fun interactions between the teams. I mean, one fight is just chasing another here for now. And in the case of the red team, they've had a decent lead. They went for the first objective, but now losing 1 or 2 team fights has definitely caused a huge setback for them. We have 29 stacks now for Vala. She was extremely slow stacking initially, but those skirmishes have also helped her to propel the stack numbers very quickly towards not only the completed quest, but also way past that to add even more damage to it. And this should benefit them as the game here continues and they're fighting over more and more of the shrines. So the 13 talents are indeed there, but by the time that we're having the next objective up, both teams will have it. So there's no talent advantage that the blue team can maintain long enough to play a big role here. The Auric wants to still go for the camp together with Falstad, but they might be a little bit late to the next objective because of that. So, yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, already the red team is starting to make their move for it. Slowly starting to come in on this one. And, yep, there we go. Vala again. Vala again using those opportunities to get a few more hits together. So, she's now sitting at 31 stacks. And when we're looking at the damage numbers, this translates into 26,000. So she's about to take... She is top damage in the game, actually, at this point. And this should only increase as the game continues. We have 13 minion stacks against 6, so a lead for the European team. And they're chasing them back through the choke points here. Porky's low and so was Nintori. But now they got full control over this. So they're taking the shrine minions as they spawn. And will likely get another objective. It's looking very good for them. They chased the North American team away, and now they're sitting at 32. That's just nothing that Squeal Team 6 can do about this. They have Leoric already at the bottom of the map. Top side was also nearly eliminated. That fort has been damaged severely for a long, long time. Diablo's moving in, and Agrom is gonna get out. The barbecue play not powerful enough. Dino has to be a bit careful here. Kind of baited them over. Still 38 to 16 on the objective, but obviously at this point, if you're so far in, you know that you can't take it. Your opponent is just gonna unleash 1 or 2 AoE abilities, and then that's it. They're trying maybe though. It's half a level until 16 for the blue team. So they would love to have that talent for the defense. But nobody has made a move to complete that. Yeah, here comes Greymane. Greymane grabs it. Greymane is finally done with it, so he jumps in, says like, alright, this one's mine. Let's go. And now they can push through the middle. But the problem still remains, as I highlighted earlier, level 16 is now soon going to be available for Squeal Team 6, and that makes the defense so much easier for them, and the attack from the Europeans a lot more difficult. So Gust already being used. Still gotta be careful. The birdie gets attacked and nearly popped. Yeah, and the Punisher wants also a piece of the action. Brandon! Ho, 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 ho. Nearly dying. Vala's nearly dead. Diablo is dead. And so will be the fort. They're gonna walk away with 2 forts here, very likely. The one in the middle is now gonna get completely focused and targeted. And then what's likely gonna happen next is them moving towards the top and taking the next one out. The blue team is going for the consolation prize, claiming a few camps, but yep, up at the top, the second fort has been destroyed, and this is now 2 forts that the blue team is missing, whereas they have not taken down a single one. And of course it helps to bridge the gap in experience as well. So right now we have level 16 on both sides, with Epicenter again taken by an Uberak, so he's coming in on that. And the blue team still grabbing as many of the camps as they possibly can right now. That has to be the goal for them. Grab a couple of camps, play around those, try and do what you can now to apply more lane pressure. And also, in an ideal world, try and keep it a bit consistent with the experience gap that you established early, and try and maintain it for as long as you possibly are able to. Fights are still breaking out here. Nas still has... well, a tomb has already been used, so there's still a Gust that could theoretically be used if they see a good opportunity to put them into a corner, but it feels like everybody is just now playing it a bit slower. Next objective is going to spawn eventually, so yeah, gotta be a bit careful on how you play that out now. I mean, down at the bottom of the map, obviously, the wall gets now opened up. We have Diablo slowly starting to come in here, hoping, of course, for a flank, but the European team is cautious. They're not too overly aggressive right now, so they're playing this a little bit slow. Porky is eating tons of damage. I mean, he's not stacked. He's at 45 stacks. That's not a whole lot. And, yeah, Diablo engaging again. Blaze is also now starting to move in. It's a close one. It's really a close one so far. It's the structures that make the big difference. The 2 forts that have been destroyed. The passive experience tickle that we're getting for the European team is also superior because of it. Vala has 50 stacks now. She's at 45,000 damage and has by now been surpassed by Mephisto. So Mephisto is the top damage dealer in the game now. But Vala is still adding really solid numbers, and especially on these big shrine fights, she's doing okay. Very similar numbers to Mephisto in general from her now. And then, of course, always the question on how is this going to look once that she's able to get more stacks together for her level 1. How much farther can they go with this? The only ones that haven't died yet, by the way, are the side laners. So Leorki hasn't even started a trade once. No trade value for Diablo. Absolutely no trade value. Kind of feels bad a little bit. Yeah, no trade Leo detected. Push at the bottom of the map potentially now against them. Hoping, of course, to eliminate the final fort, but you want to go first for the shrine. And we are, again, finding ourselves in a similar situation. The red team takes the initial lead on it and is now a bit ahead, has still control. And Porky is low. And whenever Porky is this low, he becomes an immediate target, and they're taking him down. Diablo is eliminated. Diablo is gone, and without a tank, good luck. He didn't have the soul stacks, So he is down for the count, for the full duration, and they reclaim their position on the shrine very quickly. There's at least pressure at the top lane thanks to the camp and to Leoric now moving into. The situation on the objective itself remains the same though. They've lost a lot of ground here already, and it just continues as they are getting another objective now. But value, as I said before, has now been achieved, at least some of it, as they were able to come in here and nearly destroy the topside fort. So Leo was useful. It did something for the team. The camp that they lined up before the objective spawned was also insanely powerful for them. So that's the good news. The bad news is that they're now losing ground quickly at the bottom of the map. So already the fort is lost. They're trying to push for the wall at the keep, and they will likely open this up and maybe even get the keep itself. So 6 kills to 6. They're getting also closer and closer to level 20. And obviously both of the teams are getting pretty close to 20, but still, with that little lead that they have, that opens up a window that would allow them to take the keep down, and this is exactly what's happening here. Keep is gonna get destroyed, and that's awesome. If they can get a kill here, they can go core. You just get a kill right now, and you might be able to go for the core with this. But, yeah. Couldn't quite lock one in. But again, getting the keep in the fort is obviously already a huge win. So now we have level 20 talents on both sides. Brightwing is getting access to the only friends that Brightwing will ever have, the invisible kind. Invisible friends has now been taken. We got the Farflight Quiver on level 20. So Vala now with Manticore and Farflight Quiver to get more damage out. And a Nubarak! And Nubarak Nagrom getting caught and killed. Yeah, just as it looked fantastic for them. But now the Squeal team has level 20 themselves. And with that, things might change again a little bit. So, all the way up towards the top. Brendan is currently sitting together with Falstad, trying to take that wall down. It's a 5 versus 4, so obviously the red team is just trying to defend here as best as they possibly can. How much they can do with that, that's a different question though. They gotta defend also all the way up at the top side keep. So, yep, attack after attack is coming together right now from their opponents that are trying to exploit that 5 versus 4 advantage. Can they do more than open up a couple of walls? Doesn't seem like it. And now we have a double catapult on the core, which might actually do... Nah, okay. The minion wave was already taken down way too quickly. We're only 17 minutes in. But just technically, there's always the chance that we are entering Winion territory later on, and that someone is going to lose hit points on the core because of it. Now, there is, of course, also Falstad to consider. Let's not forget about that. Falstad is here and can always start to global it up as well. But the next attack is coming. Yes, they're trying to go for another hit, and Leorki is dead within seconds. Leorki is insta-down. Wind Tunnel had to be used to cover the retreat. Vala's at 61 stacks. That translates into 62,000 damage. We have 73,000 for Greymane. And, of course, the move towards the top right now. The camp is up, and it's a 5 versus 4. So this is the perfect opportunity to steal your opponent's shaman camp away, and they can't be contested yet. And once that you have that, I mean, you can either knock the wall out, or you can just simply say, like, yep, whatever, that's more than enough. We're going to take our own next. And then as the objective spawns, we're going to come in and try and take the Punisher to end the game with. So, yeah, few things that they can do with that. And likely will. So, yeah, let's see. I mean, right now, you look at the numbers, and it's a mega even game, right? 7 kills against 7, level 21 on each side. It's really the structures that are the big, big difference right now. And on that end, they couldn't be more different. But Blaze gets killed. Blaze is down. Yeah, I think that Gust, that Wind Tunnel actually helped the red team more than it harmed them. Bought them a lot of time and space, but Blaze getting killed like this, thanks to the Entomb from Leoric, that was actually pretty big. That was honestly huge, and now they have to let the objective go. So they can still go for camps, but that hurt. That was a really cool move from Squeal Team 6, and it worked well. Gave them a insanely important kill. And also against the perfect hero. I mean, imagine anybody else getting caught, right? Blaze, if nearby, could simply pop a bunker and negate a lot of it. But that one was very strong. So now they can still fight over here since Leo isn't there. So if you want to fight a 4 versus 4, you can. But the Frozen Punisher at the top has now been taken. There's still catapults at the bottom. And now I'm slowly starting to really eye those down a bit because we are 20 minutes in. But they know it too, so they send False Threat their way. And yep, False Threat is able to quickly clear that up. So not a problem. And then on top of that, of course, the next attack is already underway at the top. And this is really one of the big ones because they will still defend with 5 unless, oh my god! Hanzo nearly died again, caught twice in a row like this and gets nearly murdered. That was more than a little bit clutch. So, yep, job well done escaping through that, but the keep at the top is now in danger. And they're losing it. The keep gets lost, they baited the Punisher nicely into the middle, so they defend it fairly easily. But top side, that keep is gone, and it is getting it's getting an intense game. It looked for a long time like this could be an easy one for the Europeans. Now they might lose it right here. Wind tunnel into a corner. Can they get the kill? They can kill an Uberak. An Uberak is down, but so is Leoric. It's just damn. It's really blow for blow right now. The two teams are like two boxes in the ring, just dropping all defense and going on all-out aggression, hammering away at each other. Here comes another ult. Mephisto is down. It's carnage. It's chaos. I love it. 10 kills to 8. But it seems like it is the blue team that might capitalize on all of this. They want to go for Yasuo. They're trying to go for Hazu. And both of them are able to escape, but they barely make it out of that situation. So now the core is slowly starting to get attacked. But talk about cores that are getting attacked. There's catapults on this one now as well. So Leo will be back in a moment. The shield is slowly getting attacked. There's more catapults coming in at the bottom of the map, and the shield is slowly dropping. They're going to lose hit points on the core 100%. The question is, can the team at the top here defend? The core is losing. The blue team's core is losing hit points now. 88%. Forestad will have to retreat, and they're losing a little bit too much for my liking. They're not going to lose the game here because of the next minion wave that already spawned. But they're now down to 60%. 60%! Less than 60%. And they did nothing at the top. They destroyed the keep. That happened way before. But after that, they thought they could end the game, and they couldn't. So now we have 44% lost on the core, and they didn't get anything out of it. And this now makes it difficult. Because now backdoors are a potential thing. Porgy with the Hellgate. He gets out. Shrine's not active yet, but boy, what a game. 22 minutes into this one. 22 minutes. Vala's at 75 stacks now. That translates into 92,000 damage. But when we're talking about the big numbers, it is Greymane with 109,000 now. 109,000 damage for Greymane. Spicy one. Really spicy game. Shrine is activating and it's at the bottom of the map. This benefits the red team. This shrine is very, very close to the bot lane where these catapults are pushing through. This is the lane where they've lost their own. And now the blue team has also stolen away the shaman camp at the top. So I am not sure what exactly the red team is now going to do. But not dealing with the top lane is a bit of a disaster, I think. Letting that push is bold. I mean, they want to go for the objective quickly. They're just thinking, okay, this is the team fight. But I'm really worried that they're going to lose to the Winions. Cocoon against Vala. There's the Entomb. They're trying for a quick kill. Diablo with the barbecue. Right Wing with the save. Wind Tunnel. And Malfurion is dead. The Europeans just lost the game. Greymane is gone. Malfurion is gone. Mephisto is gone. And, of course, this was already a problem to begin with. I highlighted it right at the start. Their core is falling apart as we have catapults alone just absolutely wrecking it. All that the NA team has to do is cross the map and end it. ended right here. 75% already, only 2 defenders. Leo is playing it mega safe, took the catapult out here, but the rest of them is now moving in. HGCEULUL is losing another map against NA. The Squeal team, they are moving in for victory in game number 1. And this time there's no defending it. This time it is a W. Squeal Team 6 with the lead in the best of 3 series here. HGCEULUL goes down in flames on Infernal Shrines.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Map number 2, Dragonshire. The Squeal team is in the lead as they took the Europeans down on Infernal Shrines. So now a redemption moment potentially for the Europeans in red, or a 2-0 victory for the blue team if Squeal Team 6 is able to take them down once more. We have Dragonshire as our first map, as our second map, and it has been chosen by the blue team. So first pick, first ban for HGCEULUL and map choice for the Squeal team. Sylvanas banned, Hogger out. Alright. Are we getting again the side laner? The top laner first? Or what's the priority here? Nagrom, we could also get again, they could steal Diablo away. Take it away from Porky, give it to Nagrom. He's been playing with Diablo a lot, and he seemed a lot more confident and strong playing Diablo than, for example, the other guy, Nubarok. But they go for Johanna instead. Also fine. Like, those are probably the two that Nagrom played, I believe, the most. Johanna and Diablo. I mean, 2 of them looking pretty good for him. I guess Porky takes Diablo. I would be a bit surprised if he didn't. The question is just simply what are they picking together with it? Is it going to repeat Brightwing again, or... And Junkrat! Okay, no Diablo. Brightwing and Junkrat are the picks here. And then what are we getting? That could result in Diablo actually getting banned out. Now Junkrat is obviously a really good pick here as well, but it always felt like Porky has his 2-3 tanks that he really wants to play when he has a chance. So I'm a bit curious to see if the Europeans are going to try and shut that down. Blaze for Hanzo. Again, Blaze as a side laner, still the choice. And we get Graham in. So, what are the Europeans banning? Rega gets banned, but what are the Europeans banning? Are they actually banning a frontliner? Are they banning Diablo? Or do they just like come in and yeah, see, okay, what else could become a problem here for us? So, yeah. Color me intrigued. Like, I want to see what they're targeting with this. Last game, Diablo survived a lot, and they go for Stitches. They ban out Stitches here. Not really something that I had on my card, but you look at the lineup, and it, yeah, you can see Stitches with this. Just gorge into a Junkrat trap, right wing with a Poly. I mean, if you want to go all overboard with it, then you can of course just simply go for an Emerald Wind and trying to isolate the target too. They go for Varian and Urel. Alright, things are getting interesting here. Urel for the side lane, for the top, together with Varian for the 4-man. And Urel against Blaze now, obviously. What does that leave for Sakatora? What is he getting? Some burst damage? Do they really play around the taunt like that? Zagara and Stukov. Ah, yeah, that European Zagara play from Dino again. He loves to do it on Dragonshire, and he does it again. Now, if he gets hit by a taunt, then he should be dead. But the final pick, I still expect the mage here. Gul'dan, Jaina. And it is Jaina. So, Jaina for the burst damage. We got a Dreadlord in the game, ladies and gentlemen. It is game number 2, match point number 1 for the North American team. Squeal Team 6 has an opportunity right now. Let's see if HGCEULUL can ruin it and force game number 3, or if this is going to be the end of this series. Map next up is Dragonshire. Game number 2, the Squeal team on the left in blue. Porky on Varian, we have Brandon on Jaina, Nintori on Brightwing, Naz on Urel, and Psychotora on Junkrat. As over on the right side of the map, it's HGCEULUL with Nagrom on Johanna. We get Yazu on Stukov, Hazops is playing Blaze, Lopaka on Greyman, and Dino on his Zagara again. It's by now one of his most popular picks probably for Dragonshire, and actually it's not only him anymore that picks Zagara here. We've seen that echoed a lot by other teams, so Zagara definitely a staple on Dragonshire these days. Oh boy. Porky, he survives. He actually made it. He actually made it. He got out. I was looking at the time and I was like, uh-oh. For the 1 minute mark. Yeah, but he was able to survive. And while he survives, the team pausing the game here. So maybe a little bit of a problem with the ping again. But yeah, this is definitely not the game where you want to have big issues, because as already said, if they lose here, they lose the series. This might only be part of the round robin, but definitely something that you would probably prefer to take on. If you want to have a chance to win the series, then you need to really perform well on map number 2. So let's see what the Europeans can do, and I hope that the problem is not going to be too big of a deal, that they can fix it quickly. So as already expected, it was a bit of a ping problem. Lopaka apparently got hit by some really high ping, and they just paused the game for a minute or 2 to make sure that he has some time to recover that. Yeah, Naz gets out. Europeans are already getting very aggressive here in the early game, really trying to play with vision and lure the opponent into small traps where they can then get a quick kill. Hasn't happened yet, but you can see that they're very eager to try and make it work. So, yeah. Very quickly making these little plays. We have now Urel up at the top against Hazops. The 1 versus 1 has been established, so they're going toe-to-toe here. Whereas on the right side and the left, we now have the 2 teams aiming straight up for their Shaman camp, for their Bruiser camp as well. So getting the Bruisers into the top lane, both just like trying to slowly get some of these structures out. At the bottom of the map, it's a little bit awkward for Porky. I mean, obviously once that he has level 4, he can start dropping some taunts on Zagara, and if anybody assists, they might be able to get a quick kill. But going up against someone with that caliber of wave clear is a bit tricky when you yourself don't really have it. Now he can still use his own abilities to at least clear up some of these creep tumors and deny vision, because Dino, if you get a proper J-Dome creep spread, then whew, and we're talking at the end of the day legal map hack. So yeah, doesn't have level 4 yet, but still jumped in here. Okay, Junkrat, so has to be a little bit careful. I mean, they want to pair eventually Varian with Jaina and get her burst damage in. There's a lot of pressure at the top while this plays out at the bottom of the map. This is a 3 versus 3, but they still have the camp here, and they're really struggling to make that happen. Then again, Yazu is all of a sudden mega low, and if anybody else could have helped out there, Brandon would have been able to just close the distance a bit earlier and drop maybe some damage in. This could have been the first kill of the game. Stukov looked rather low in that encounter. So, yeah, Porky, Nintori, and Sakatoru are now all down at the bottom of the map to play through here. We're having Zagara still sitting tight, all alone, gets pooped around a little bit. Still a decent creep spread, by the way. They haven't cleared up a lot of this. They definitely should. They have a few heroes that can deal with that, and they should try, because this is a nice control already over the mid to bot lane rotation. Double control for just a few seconds over the shrines, but all the way at the top, Blaze is already dealing with it, so he's making that work fairly quickly. Grabs one of them. Jaina's still fine here. Not a single kill. 3 minutes in and we haven't seen a kill yet. They are more aggressively now making moves since they have oh well, they could actually try and go for the Dragonite here. But I was about to say that they are making more aggressive moves around the camp because now they got Taunt, and there's the first one already being utilized, but they just don't have everybody together to get enough damage in to grab that kill. Instead, they are now getting pressured with the DK. Lopaka was trying to sneak it in cheekily. Junker is at the bottom of the map against Zagara now, and against the camp. And over here, oh, they got close! Nearly got a kill, but it's Porky that falls, and that is first blood and a Dragonite to boot. So, that is the perfect outcome from that situation from them. Not only do they grab the Dragonite, but they're also able to take the kill. So, looking very, very solid. Just work around the Dragon's Breath a little bit and open the wall up. And then on top of that, they have all the way at the top. Wow, even another kill. They're getting Urel. And they can, of course, open up the wall and maybe even take a fort. Hello? That's a lot of damage they're able to get on this one. That's already a lot. They might get the entire thing. Yeah, they actually do. The Dragonite is in the middle of the map and has done damage here as well. So they are attacking on 3 fronts essentially. They've eliminated the fort at the top, they've done damage to the one in the middle, and then the bottom of the map they've also took a lot of the hit points out. So they are looking once again extremely powerful here in the early game. It's a 1-level lead now for the Europeans, and they are again gaining momentum by the minute. Lots of momentum for the European team. Question as always is just simply, what exactly can they all do with this? Like, how much are they able to pull off here? And we'll find out soon enough. But now we have level 10 abilities. That gives us, as usual, Nidus, of course. And with the camp that they just took at the bottom of the map, there is now a chance that they can just move through and start to take down those structures here. The goal has to definitely be take the forts away from them, and also one of the goals really for the European team needs to be, whenever you have an advantage, just really try to capitalize a bit on it. They had too many games now where they were mega far ahead and then they got killed towards the end. Great for the NA teams, but for the Europeans slightly frustrating. They try to go again for Porky, but Porky survives. He made it out, but the fort fell. So that's 2 forts destroyed. Level 10 abilities give us massive shove, and we got the cursed bullet. Then again, on the other side, any big surprises for the blue team? Not really. I mean, Water Elemental is in. Didn't really expect Ring here either. Brightwing is working towards Invisible Friends. Now with 6 minutes on the clock, we have only our 2 kills. Junkrat is jumping out. If he would have just tried to walk over, I'm not sure if they even realized that Nagrom was there, but that could have been a kill. Blessed Shields was a cooldown, but you just run into a Condemn like this, and you can very easily be destroyed. So I didn't come to that in this particular instance, but it's always a bit of a risk. Now more and more map control for the European team. The forts are destroyed, that means fountains are gone. Easier to control the shrines for yourself, of course. So, yeah, they started to move down towards the bottom of the map with Siege Giants on the line for both teams. They're trying to, again, push through the lane a bit more aggressively and start to make a move there. Next attack already coming. Careful. Varian, in particular, needs to be cautious. Big shove. And Jojo is able to get out. Jojo survives. Blaze is still at the top, and Urel is now making a way over to try and defend this, but the entire wall is basically destroyed. I guess this tower might survive. Scratcher might. This one is also going to get murdered. So they are on the bridge of death, but this thing has been fully opened up now. And we have level 13 talents for the European team as well. So they got level 13, they have the talent advantage, and they get the kills too. 1 down, 2 down. They're going for number 3 here. Very, very quick kills that we just got a second ago, and they're hoping for Varian. And he's not going to survive, is he? He's trying to rush away, but yeah, now the idea to get a counter kill, even that didn't work out, and it all started with the double. So the double kill over here, I mean, it all fell apart within a second. So yeah, right there. Maw gets used, a little bit of a blind Maw as they lock in another Dragonite. But this entire game is falling apart for the blue team. They're 2 levels behind now. They still haven't gotten a single kill. Dragon Knight has just now been taken again and is moving through the middle. There's kill number 1. So at least they have it. But yeah, Keep isn't open up yet, but they've done some damage here. With Stukov dying, they are going to get a bit less out of this than what it initially seemed like they could maybe get. But the map control is clearly in their hands now. So yeah, they got clear map control here. And this entire Varian composition, every single time you're picking Varian, you obviously want to go taunt. You obviously want to make sure that you are slowly and steadily getting kills by taunting into a follow-up, into burst damage. And so far they have gotten 1 kill. And 1 kill with that comp is just not enough. You are hinging on your team fights. You want to dominate by team fighting, getting a numbers advantage on the map, and then just really run with these advantages. It's just not working for them. Now, Jaina gets killed, so she's gone, and more time and space is going to the red team. They lose Nagrom on the other hand. So slowly and steadily, there's at least a couple of kills that are coming in for the Squeal team, boys. But with level 16 now happening in a moment, this is still going to be tough. Yeah, but Hanzo might also fall. So, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. This is an insane advantage that they have. The forts are gone. They were able to establish a very big lead, but just a few seconds ago there was a 2-level lead. Now it's one lead and a bit. And if you lose a few more heroes, then this might change too. So on the one hand, they've done an incredible job getting this far ahead. On the other hand, they're starting to lose a few heroes, and therefore also the advantage that they've been that they have been establishing throughout the game. So still got to be a bit careful. We had, as I said earlier, a lot of games where in the early and the mid game the European teams did a fantastic job holding their own and getting ahead, and then they started to lose track in the late mid game and towards the late game itself, and all of a sudden it's an eye-level playing field, and then one team fight decides it. So yeah, a lot of the advantages that they were holding a few moments ago are already gone. You gotta be pretty careful with that. I mean, right now, what we're getting is the bottom wall destroyed. There's a couple of camps up on the map that can still be taken by both of the teams. But as I said, you gotta be a bit cautious. That bot lane control that they are still holding is totally fine. Up at the top, there's still Blaze. The shrines are now activating too. And since you're still holding your fountains, this is one of the moments where you can really start to say, okay guys, let's go, let's take another Dragon Knight, let's work on the global control. You have Zagara, establish that at the bottom. Could happen for them now. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, Varian is still moving around a little bit over at the middle down here. The Maw against Urel. Really nice Maw again from Zagara. Naz is apparently able to get away. Blessed Shield, nope, it doesn't help. Didn't even use it, didn't really have to. In the middle they were trying to chase Greymane. There's a double control on the shrine, so another Dragon Knight gets threatened as they're looking for the fight. And can they get a kill? Johanna's a bit low, but the lurking arm is the end of Varian. Varian is eliminated, and then Stukov follows through with another stiff arm and just pushes them out of the fight here. Now Jaina is gone, and while it was shaky for a second for the Europeans, now they're looking much better once again. The Dragon Knight is already taken, the bottom wall has been opened up, there's a big push coming in through the top. We have them again with a 2-level lead established, so things are again looking up for the red team. They want to have game number 3, they don't want to give it up here, so they're fighting tooth and nail to make it into the final game of the series. At this point, 50,000 damage for Zagara, easy top damage in the game, and on the other hand, we have 35,000 for Junkrat. So this situation as we have it now, another kill comes in, and as they're going already for the keep, they can probably go for core here. I mean, right now, it's 4 survivors, it's a 3-level advantage, the stats lead alone is big. Greymane falls. That's a bit of a setback though, because Greymane was really one of the heroes that could have done the most damage now on the core, so I'm not quite sure if they're still going to try and stick this out. Depends on whether or not they can get a kill. And as they're moving in for Varian, protected. They nearly got one. but it starts to become a little bit more doubtful that they can actually end the game here. And they're already starting to retreat because they're realizing this might not happen. You don't want to throw the game away, but fighting a lost cause on the bot lane. They've done a lot of damage up at the top keep too, and can still steal some of the camps away. And of course now this ends up with them grabbing level 20, and once that we're having Greymane back is going to make things a bit easier. Would have been a very different situation if Greymane survived, if somebody else would have died, because Greymane is just a top damage dealer on the core, and it's one of the main reasons, I suppose, why they thought, hey, maybe we got this already. Maybe we can again end the game here. But either way, if you have a 2-level advantage around level 20, you can hope for another easy objective and see what you can do there. With that, they should then be able to take the game. But yeah, right now, we're having them with 10 kills to 4. Level 20 gave us, in this particular case, also now the fortified bunker. We got Pack Instinct. They're already trying to aim for a kill at the top, I suppose. At least they were eyeing Urel for just a moment. And Stukov is already rotating towards the bottom of the map just as the camp spawned. I mean, camp was just about to spawn and Stukov was immediately there. He's like, yep, I got this. That's fine. I'm on it, boys. So, yep. They grabbed the camp. Yeah, now it's always a question of how much can you do with it. Like, are they going to push for this immediately? They got the camp set up at the bottom of the map. They got at the top Hanzo in position. Again, it's about the Dragonite again. So right now they have Jojo at the bottom, and I think this is an easy free grab since it doesn't... I mean, I'm not getting the impression that the blue team has any ambitions of moving into the middle and trying to disrupt this. They haven't even moved anybody towards the side lanes in order to see if they can steal one of the shrines away. So it's a free Dragonite at the 15-minute mark. The argument in favor of that decision to simply let it slide is that it's still very early in the game, so this hasn't scaled like crazy yet. It's not a massive, not technically not a massive problem. Blaze is in the Dragonite though, so now they have 3 heroes that can essentially do a lot of damage against the core. That's Zagara, that's Greymane, and that's also the Dragonite with the axe. So you got a lot going for yourselves here if you want to end the game, and that's essentially what's happening. So they're starting to slowly poke this one out, but you can tell that the Dragonite is still on the weak side. It gets burned down very, very quickly. They're working a lot now with the abilities, but the Dragonite is about to be lost. So Dragonite is gone, and can they get any kill here? Doesn't... Well, they got Junkrat. They got Junkrat. It didn't look like it initially, but they just got Junkrat, so that's a good start. Taking Junkrat down, maybe now more? Yes, and that is game. Brightwing is gone, Urel is gone, Junkrat got eliminated, and all of a sudden the world's your oyster. They can go for the core, and that's exactly what they do. The level 20 advantage was a big, big lead already as we headed into the fight, and now they are taking this down. 30% on the core. It disappears too. 15 kills to 4 as the European team forces game number 3 in this best of 3 series. GG. Game number 3, Garden of Terror. So here we are, the official Hanzo Genji Cup continues with another banger. We got our third map between the Europeans and the North American team here, as we are still playing through our round robin through the final, with the final 6 teams. But Maiev gets banned, Sylvanas gets banned, and it was the map choice of the European team. So Squeal Team 6 decided they want to have first pick, first ban, and there were 3 maps up for grabs where they could choose from. It was Garden of Terror, Aldrich Pass, and it was Towers of Doom. And honestly, my personal expectation was that if the NA team decides to pick the map, it's going to be Aldrich Pass hands down. And if it is the Europeans, I would have bet money on the fact that we're going to get Towers of Doom. Instead, we get Garden of Terror. So right now, we have Blaze as our first pick. What else is new, I know. But how exactly is HGCEULUL now playing this out? Now, keep in mind, Garden of Terror, massive amount of mercenary camps, big map, Globals are good. Anything that can help you get mercenary camps quickly is also worth picking. We get Diablo taken very early, also picks it away from Nagrom, obviously. There is another... I think they're most likely going to pick that tank now. Jojo, again, comes to mind for Porky too. Still a couple around. If not, then one could be banned out by the Europeans on the next ban phase. But Blaze, Jojo, for example, is a fantastic frontline, so this is something that would work for them if they want to take her here. But they go for Greymane first and Brightwing. And Greymane, again, excels on the map because you can take minion waves down fairly quickly. And, as just explained, you can go for the mercenary camps and very, very easily rotate through them too. Apply lane pressure through that, and yes, get a bit of a dominant position in the game. So when it comes to bans, are they targeting a main tank now? Are they, for example, saying, okay, we're going to eliminate Johanna or some other tank, or do they just focus on the additional damage dealer that we can be expected? They go for Garrosh. They don't want to deal with Garrosh. They are fine dealing with Jojo. They are fine dealing with Muradin or whatnot. The Vikings get banned. It's always these safety bans. I really hate them. The worst thing is when we're seeing the Butcher ban, for example. It's always like, you know something that I don't, and this could have been happening. Now, in the case of Vikings, well, they know something that everybody knows, and that is that the Europeans like to play Vikings. Maybe not necessarily on the Isle of Terror, but if at some point you want to play that game, you could do it here. So, unfortunately, they get banned. We got Yrel, we got Gul'dan. The wave clear is already there for Lopaka, and we got the Yrel Diablo combo, which was always strong. As I said many times in the past, there was a time during the actual HGC where we had Diablo, Yrel, and Deckard Cain as a triple picked, and I think those three, whenever they were chosen in a match, they had, it must have been a 98% win rate or something along those lines. It was absolutely ridiculous. You could literally call games after whether or not those three were chosen. So now we have Muradin and we have Falstad. That gives us a global for the Squeal Team 6. And Muradin plus Blaze, so a lot of CC already for them too. And it leaves us with Dino as the final pick for game number 3. The final map, we already had this situation once where the Europeans, they won a map, they lost one, and then it came to the final map. The last time didn't really go all too well for them. They want to change that pattern, they want to break through it. And with Garden of Terror, this is maybe happening with Liming. We'll find out. She's the final pick for the third map as we are heading straight into the last game between HGCEULUL and Squeal Team 6. Game number 3, the final map. We are heading into Garden of Terror. On the left, we got Porky on Muradin. We got Naz on Blaze. We got Nentori on Brightwing. Brandon on Greymane. And Psychotora on Falstad. Over on the right side of the map, the Europeans, as they're starting to do their thing and hoping to close out the series with a victory. We have Hanzo Ops on Yrel. We get Lopaka playing Gul'dan over here. Dino on Liming. Yasu on Rega, and Nagrom is back on the beefy boy with Diablo. Big map, and it's gonna be lots and lots of action as Porky is riding in here. Devils immediately with a bit of a push play. But yeah, I want to see what they're now doing. Even more popular, of course, these days, time and time again. We got Gul'dan with the Saki build, so he goes for chaotic energy over here. And we'll see what they can now do with this. Can they, in this case, just come in and very quickly get with Gul'dan later on a couple of kills against Greymane, for example, and then, you know, claim the objective and really make the play, or what's going to be the outcome? Yasu, first of all, gets caught. Rega on the run, and he gets caught, gets eliminated. So that's already a quick kill against them. It's a bit unfortunate. I don't think he liked that too much. So first blood goes to the Americans, and up at the top, Lopaka, that's the second kill, that's the third kill, Diablo's dead too. And that leaves Hazorbs, who gets stunned out, and is he also gonna die? Nah, he makes it, too many hit points. But 3 kills to 0. History seems to be repeating itself. We talked about the pattern that HGCEULUL already experienced firsthand throughout this. And it seems that we are on our way to a very, very similar situation now. So tough times, definitely, for the EU team. They are falling behind by half a level. It's very early in the game, so at least up to now, they're not in too much trouble. But it doesn't really give you a huge confidence boost when you're losing this many heroes in the early game and you fall behind by a level like that. So, yeah. And of course, they also lost a fair amount of map control now too. So, definitely not what we would consider a great opening. So, a bit crazy. But then again, the push comes in at the bot lane as they're slowly starting to do their thing here. With the towers being destroyed. Them being able to take all of these camps without any initial counter pressure allows them to take that wall down with ease. And they are now running basically an entire level advantage over the opponent's team. Now Blaze is sitting all the way topside. Nas is currently feeling probably pretty good. It's all alone on the lane, so everything's still fine. With Dainu soon locking in, well, soon TM, locking in his Calamity. They might just be able, you know, to get some momentum with that. Get your Calamity and then, you know, just start taking some resets, get some kills. If you can do that, propel them through the fights, then fantastic. But there is a disadvantage now. I mean, it clearly is. So, what can they actually do? Can they get a few more kills? The blue team is going to be able to do a little bit more. That would of course be nice for them, build on that lead that they already have, maybe with that level 7 talent that they're about to pick up. And Nagrom isn't stacked yet with Diablo, so they can still get kills here, and it's exactly what they're doing. Forky might die though. No way! No! Rhaegar is gone. They wanted to go for the kill against Muradin, and then Rhaegar falls instead as they were chasing a bit too deep. Check this one out. Have a look at this. He gets out, they thought they had him, and then Rhaegar dies. This is one of those, and Gul'dan is also dead. What? 6 kills to 0 all of a sudden. Hello? Yeah, Gul'dan is dead now too, so that's 6 kills to 0. Brandon wants that fort, and he's gonna get it. They might lose a hero because of all of that, but trading it for a fort is absolutely worth it. So, damn, the European team is falling apart here. I mean, obviously, as explained before, they are playing with a ping disadvantage, but still. That is rough. Finally, a first blood. Maybe Greymane now broke the spell. Them getting a kill here might have helped them, but they are definitely in disaster territory now. So, this is tough times for them. Now, in experience, actually kind of funny. If you look at the experience gap here, look at this. 6 heroes killed, 2,400 experience. 1 hero killed, 720. So, yeah. Passive experience, obviously, is now also increasing with the fort destroyed for the blue team. Naz at the top gets 1 stun. And can he get out? Yeah, Brighton is also helping, so not really a problem. And they are going straight up for Gul'dan. Oh, he nearly got the kill. And they still do! They're getting farmed. They're getting absolutely farmed right now. At least in the early game of map 6, we have Squeal Team 6 going through HGCEULUL like hot butter through cheese. I mean, that's another kill. Li Ming is gone. So yeah, we're getting the full hot butter through cheese treatment here. And if you want to enjoy some hot butter through cheese, keep in mind, check out the shop link in the description. We finally have some hot butter through cheese merch. And it is amazing, if I might say so myself. Probably my favorite one from all the collections that we put out so far. If you haven't seen it yet, you should check it out. So, seeds are up. Each team has so far gotten 1. Now we have the next quick move made by the blue team to get the second one for themselves. I mean, they have had level 10 for some time now too. So they are definitely in the driver's seat in this game. And yeah, it's just tough. I mean, I'm a little bit blown away. All of the games that we've seen so far did not really lead me to believe that we would all of a sudden look at game number 3 and it would be one-way Heroes of the Storm. One-way street Heroes of the Storm plays from North America, just absolutely obliterating their opponents in essentially every single team fight. So, Apocalypse used and with little direct success. They're desperately trying to go for a kill here. Got 8 kills to 1 and still more than a level ahead. So the seeds, they're spawning again. And this time we're talking top right. So the position is definitely a bit better now for HGCEULUL. Down at the bottom of the map, that's where the fort was lost. I mean, 2 forts are now lost. I can once again give you guys a bit of an idea. Look at the passive experience here. We're already 1,100 ahead thanks to that. So, yep. Definitely making a difference here. In the middle, Horrify, and immediately the Gust getting used. That's not a bad play, honestly. First of all, it's a cooldown win for you to begin with. Not a big win, but it's a cooldown win. And then, second of all, total trade. So, all okay. Now they're trying to go for the fight. Level 13 talents already. Nagrom, mega low, but he survives. He's going to be effective full HP in no time, thanks to his level 1. But they're going for Rigger, and he gets wrecked. So, that's the support gone. They're trying for Gul'dan as well, and he dies too. Damn! Squeal Team 6 is going on an absolute killing spree here. 10 kills to 1. Guys, we're not even 10 minutes into the game, and they're already knocking at the top side keep. 2 heroes are gone, Rhaegar never even Ancestral, and now they can go for the first keep of the game. They might get it. We are 8 minutes in, and the first keep is now under serious pressure and might fall. They don't have all the heroes here just now. Muradin really wants it, and they're gonna grab it. So yeah, the keep is gone. The fort in the middle has also been destroyed. At the bottom of the map, Yrel gets stunned out. And in the middle, they're trying to bust through the wall too. Insane. Absolutely insane. HGCEULUL. It seems like they have to win a series in 2 maps or they're running into trouble. The gap in experience is now more than 2 levels. More than 2 levels. That's just nasty. So that objective was huge, was absolutely huge. The double mage that we're getting here for HGCEULUL is just not working out for them. Double mage has worked occasionally in the past, but it's not really your go-to comp, and also for a bit of a reason. So the Apocalypse again, not doing enough for them. Camp has already been taken. They go with the jet propulsion again for Nagrom, and he's dead. Nagrom is down, and there is... Oh, Rhaegar. Good reaction. If Rhaegar doesn't cleanse there, I believe Gul'dan is dead once more. So, for now, the bottom wall gets opened up again. There's siege giants, there's a catapult. The first keep, as I said, has already been taken down earlier, and now they're trying for another one. Level 16 talents, so they can definitely siege up a bit more heavily on this. They don't have to fully go YOLO, but they can start to poke just slightly, while they still have that 3-level advantage and also the talent lead. Yeah, Hanzo jumps in. They want that. I mean, they seem to be desperate right now. Also, passive experience. Just look at how quickly this gap widens now. Passive experience gap is widening mega quickly. All the forts are gone and the keep is gone. So, of course, you're going to fall farther and farther behind. It's tough. It's really, really tough for them right now. And a ticket back would be the objective if they can grab it again. But it doesn't seem like they're anywhere near that now. So, yeah, it seems pretty unlikely that they can make that move. So, as it stands, well, the attacks, they're still coming here. They're making the next move real quickly. Yeah, well, not just yet. So, again, they're just roaming through the map trying to get as many of the mercenary camps as they possibly get. Start to get farther and farther ahead in all of this. As the blue team is just pinning them down. The blue team is just pinning them down at the end of the day. They're coming in, making their move here, and yeah, just trying to see what they can do. Sieging up with the talent advantage, seeing if they can maybe exploit a mistake that's being made. I mean, literally anything. But with 11 kills to 1, the writing is more or less on the wall. They got to rally. They got to rally and really win a big team fight. And then on the back of that team fight, get themselves an objective, at least close the experience gap. I mean, right now, obviously, they're just sitting tight because they want to wait for level 16 talents, as they should. Very little else they actually can do here. And right now, the attack comes in. Muradin just jumps in. 1 Stormbolt. Oh yeah, let's go. Level 4 talent. Sledgehammer. Boom. That's literally what Porky does. Gets another one out there too. But they're waiting for the camper now. They have the aura and they can poke even further. So yeah, in we go. One hit after another. Blaze is coming in as well. And now they immediately fall back. Like, I mean, honestly, every single time I see him come in with the camp, I thought, well, at least try something. But imagine for a moment if they're now getting the next seed. Then it's another objective for them. So right now, it's 16 talents versus 16 talents. And this is going to be the moment where HGCEULUL has to make their stand. Yeah, Diablo, he's not stacked, and he gets his Ancestral. Muradin with the Stormbolt, Ancestral's already out, Hanzo on Yrel is in trouble. Yeah, has his ult, and uses it before the Stormbolt connects. Yeah, Apocalypse, that didn't do too much for them. Blaze is still up, Jet Propulsion, and they're going for Diablo again. Nagrom is dead. Nagrom is dead, and that's another objective for them. They should get the seed now. And once that they have the seed, the rest of the keeps will probably fall. This might just be it. Oh no, Diablo actually came back. Diablo stacked it. No, not like this. Oh, Diablo on his way back, and then Yrel dies. Now we are getting more Garden Terrors, and they're already spawning right at the keeps. One is at the core. One Garden Terror is literally at the core already. The other one will take the keep down. It's a disaster. It's an utter disaster. Rega is dead. Nagrom is dead. Gul'dan goes down. This, ladies and gentlemen, is game. This is it. This is all she wrote. The Europeans, they lose another series here in the round robin. And it is Squeal Team 6 that shuts them down. Nicely done, well played, and congratulations to the blue team. Squeal Team 6 with a great performance and a well-deserved 2-1 victory against HGC EULUL. Nicely done.